Ontario government is expanding the sale of alcoholic beverages starting this summer. So Ontario ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਅਲਕੋਹਲਿਕ ਬੇਵਰੇजेस ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਲ ਹੁਣ ਕੱਲੇ LCBO ਜਾਂ ਬੀਅਰ ਸਟੋਰ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਗਰੋਸਰੀ ਸਟੋਰਸ, ਬਿਗ ਸਟੋਰਸ ਔਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਕਨਵੀਨੀਅੰਸ ਸਟੋਰਸ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਅਲਕੋਹਲਿਕ ਬੇਵਰੇजेस ਆ ਮਿਲੂਗੇ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਕੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ? ਬੀਅਰ, ਵਾਈਨ, ਸੀਡਰ और ਜਿਹੜੇ ready to drink alcoholic beverages है, they will be available in convenience stores, in the big stores and in the grocery stores starting this summer. So by the end of October, these all alcoholic beverages will be available in all the Ontario stores, convenience stores, grocery stores and the big stores. So Ontario ਦੇ finance minister ਪੀਟਰ ਬੈਥਲਨਫੈਲਵੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਔਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਪਈ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਔਰ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਗਰ ਇਲੀਗਲ ਲੀਕਰ ਵਿਕ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨਾਲ।
Hello, Minister. I have two questions. The first question is, as Ontario government is giving 225 million to the beer store for the transition. So what kind of transition this will be and what kind of this money will be used for what purpose by the beer store?
Well, thank you, Nitin. Always good to see you. And I would say the primary reason, among many though, is the beer store has over 400 stores, and as a result, there's a lot of jobs connected to those stores. And because of the modernizing of the alcohol, whether it was done now or later, is going to impact those jobs. So we wanted to have a smoother transition and provide some support for the workers in the beer store, literally thousands of jobs. And don't forget, there is a role for the beer store going forward. There's a role for distribution. There's a role for recycling. So there will be opportunities for the employees and the beer store, but we wanted to provide some support in the interim. But, the good news is that this is going to open up over 8,000 points of sale. This is going to allow for a broader market for distribution, for recycling, for choice and convenience in the province. And so I've heard from a lot of small businesses. I've heard from a lot of industry who think, they've been advocating for decades for this kind of change. And to be able to deliver this change, I think is a big winner for the people of Ontario.
Thank you, Minister. The follow-up is, the government knows that there is an illicit liquor selling in the market, and this is not being sold by the government-operated LCBOs or others. Does government has a knowledge of that? If yes, what kind of actions government took? If no, then we can provide the proof because we made reports earlier. We sent that to the police, to the related agencies, to the Ontario Gaming and Liquor agencies also, but no actions had been taken. What they do, they sell this liquor, but they don't give a slip of the liquor store. They give a slip of receipt of a beauty salon. So that is suspicious, and that kind of a business is going on. They have a website, just text them and they will deliver it. So this kind of operations is operating. Does government has an eye on that?
Nitin, I would say this. First off, I'm going to say that there's no place for legal distribution of any product in Ontario. In fact, if you go back to 1927 when the LCBO was set up, that was the days of prohibition, and there was a lot of illegal sale of alcohol in the 20s leading up to the ending of prohibition. I would say this as well. You mentioned the Alcohol Gaming and Commission of Ontario, and they're responsible for the oversight, and they take this responsibility extremely seriously, as do our law enforcement. And so, if there's any, as you said, you've been providing information to them, continue to do that, and we'll follow up because there's no room for any sort of illegal sale to anybody of any product, but including alcohol. And I would say this, the same issue is with cannabis. Cannabis is an area where We take that responsibility extremely seriously as well. Obviously, the federal government made the decision to allow for legal production and distribution of cannabis in Canada. And a big part of their motivation was to get people out of the illegal market. So there's work to do there. And finally, I'll end also on internet gaming was something that was done in the illegal market, and we put in a regulatory framework. And now more and more people are using the regulated framework in internet gaming that is allowed. So there's always more work to do, whether it's alcohol, cannabis, gaming, and appreciate you flagging it for us. And we're not going to relent until there's no illicit sale of cannabis, alcohol, or other means in Ontario. Something that's been in place and not changed for almost 100 years, and that we are now moving forward with to provide a lot more opportunities for not only small businesses and Ontario producers, but also many more points of sale to allow for consumers to really have the convenience and choice that you have in many jurisdictions around the world, and also the opportunity to compete, which is something that I think is very important, and many really want to have that opportunity because, as you know, they were restricted from doing much of the above because of a 10-year Liberal monopoly agreement signed that really restricted the ability to compete, the ability to provide convenience and choice. So I think that's my preamble. We made a commitment in 2018, 2022 to get this done. Of course, we had the pandemic, and we got through that, and that's why we're moving forward now. And you know, we campaigned in 2018 to move forward with the modernization plan for alcohol, to break the monopoly that was put in place by the previous Liberal government, signed in 2015, a 10-year monopoly restricting competition, restricting convenience and choice. And when we announced in December of this year that the beer store had agreed to move forward earlier, we thought that was a great opportunity to support small businesses. You know, you think about all the small businesses, from craft brewers to craft wineries that produce wine and beer, craft cideries, ready-to-drink beverages that are produced here in Ontario, and for producers large and small to actually get to a broader market, to get into convenience stores and independent grocers and grocery stores. There's over 8,000 points of sale that this will allow beer and wine and ready-to-drink beverages to be sold. That's a major economic boost to the economy. That's a major economic boost to the jobs that are created as a result of that. And ultimately, who's the winner? The consumer will be able to get their choice of beverage more conveniently at their place of choice and a price that works for them.